Lately, I've been looking through my inventory and I was pleasantly surprised by some of the things that happened over the past few months. Now granted, I didn't look through my inventory for a long time after the CS2 hype, simply because there was nothing interesting to witness other than the fact that all of us are not millionaires to CS skins yet. But one way or another, it was very pleasant to see how a few things have developed. I've stumbled across this video by a channel named Jihan, and he's talking about what he thinks of the current situation with agents and the Armory update. I found it quite interesting, not because I needed advice on what to do with my agents, but because it really puts on the spot very well what I have already been criticizing very sharply within most of such videos, that it is most often talk that most of the time doesn't provide any value or insights beyond showing a couple of graphs and pretty much ending it up on a few claims that something may or may not happen, and partly even stating things that contradict one another. So I decided to bring across a video where I'll talk about this in response to what this guy says, and I am fairly certain that if you are watching stuff within this realm, you will suddenly find that similar things apply to a really big load of those videos. Now granted, it is difficult to bring in a lot of educational value to them. Let's agree that the Steam market is actually pretty simple, so you can't really come up with much, but most of them, I'm sure you'll be able to see this as well, are usually not even taking an attempt to do so, and I find that very unfortunate. But let's just take a look at the video and I'm sure you'll understand what I'm talking about.
Yo boys, in this video I'm talking about following topics related all to agents. What happened the last weeks, the current situation of the agents, the potential investment, and how the future of the agents will look like. In early of September, the agents had a crazy rise. At the beginning of September, agent price rose sharply for no real reason.
Agents rose in part simply because the supply is drying up. The operation is already so far back in time, the CS player base has grown since that operation was held, let alone the people pouring in money with the intent to make a buck off of them, myself included. They are likely to rise further if no new operation or otherwise supply increasing measure comes out in due time, and the reaction to the Armory update was just this. People held prices lower in anticipation of new agents coming out possibly. Once there was a confirmation that no new agents will come out with this update anytime soon, they started climbing back up again. I will give credit for this matter still though, because you can argue that the reason was rather psychological in the short term. The longer term might actually be fundamentally rooted in supply shortage coming from this unless a new supply source is released. But saying that there was no reason whatsoever is simply wrong, because you have to acknowledge there's always some reason, even if it is just so much as psychological effects alone. 90% or at least the vast majority of trading is evidently psychological, so the consequences arising from this effect are actually very substantial. If you want to check out more resources concluding this, take a look at the description. I've linked an article from Investopedia for you to check out. There's even a scientific field concerning this in fact, namely behavioral finance.
There was a talk of Chinese market manipulation, as there was no plausible reason for the sudden rise in agent prices. The number of players remained the same at the time, and towards the end of September, the suspicion of market manipulation was somewhat confirmed when an extremely large number of agents were sold on the same day.
Manipulation is not an opinion, please don't confuse the two. This is a very serious allegation that I would really like to see sources and proof for. Otherwise you might eventually find yourself in a dire spot of having to explain yourself, potentially even in front of an instance that you really don't want to have to explain yourself in front of, if such a claim ever moves on to actually harm the other party's reputation. Now, keep in mind this is not meant to be an attack at what you said. I don't mind you saying that or alleging anyone, as long as it doesn't concern me, but you will eventually come into trouble if you can't find your claims in evidence and the person you are alleging of something such as this has an issue with this down the line, potentially because they have taken damage in some way. So I would advise to simply be more careful about this in the future, and in case there is reasonably believable evidence for this claim, to provide it. As of this moment, I cannot find anything supporting this allegation, neither in the video itself nor its description.
A few days later, the Armory update was released, which caused the price to go crazy again.
This supports what I said previously actually. Once there was a confirmation that no new agents were to be issued with the Armory update, people started pouring back into agents. That's psychological fear of missing out, as well as anticipation of low supply in the longer term.
The price of the agents are really inconsistent. Let's have a look at the chart.
Those charts are actually all very consistent if you ask me, as someone coming rather from traditional finance, but I guess that's subjective, so I won't really criticize it as badly. Granted, just from a rough relative gain perspective, there is a good amount of spread differentials between each, but they are all clearly following the same trend with the high positive correlation, and I personally would not label this as inconsistent.
After the release of the Armory update without new agents, the price of all agents skyrocketed again to a new all-time high. A few weeks after the release of the update, did the hype cool down and the price was sinking a bit. Of course, the price does not fall as quickly as they have risen, but that's a sign that it's not a pump and dump scheme like many meme crypto coins or specific sticker we saw in the past years. the agents are limited, we didn't get new agents, and we won't get any new agents in the near future. For me, the price increase is logical.
I find this a little funny in regards to what you alleged of others previously, and I'm asking myself how you end up releasing this video without a thought of another's name being tarnished, without evidence anywhere to be found. Again, I'm not saying either that this is true or wrong, but until I can personally see such evidence being shown, I have to presume that allegations made are always false. Your viewers are not going to end up searching for the evidence to support your claims on their own. It's your responsibility to provide credible defense to your claim. At this stage, my question is how you ended up deciding to leave this allegation in the video if you, quote, found the price movement logical, because previously one would have just simply assumed that it was just not having enough information on your end and just a slip up in the heat of coming up with something to say, and now it sounds like knowingly spreading a false claim that might damage someone, and that makes it undeniably worse.
Let's talk about the investment topic in this video. As many of my subscribers already know, I invested in agents also. Luckily, I invested in early September when I could get normal prices and not the pump prices. And yeah, I spectated the prices closely, and every day I looked at the charts, and I also discussed with many people in the comments from my agent video if they should sell the agents or not. I recommended most of them to sell the agents. Why? Easy answer. If you're in good profit, take it. As I already described, are the price really inconsistent, and there's no reason to be a backholder when you could easily take the profit. But I had other reasons why I didn't sell my agents. For me personally, I didn't sell because I did an investment video where I said I will wait until the Chinese major and then I will sell it if I'm in good profit.
Put your money where your mouth is. Again, not to take as an offense, but you're making your own audience question what you say if you begin your sentence with taking profits now and then undermining that very statement, saying you will hold on to your agent because of an arbitrary event-based thesis that disregards and actually contradicts the previous statement you gave to everybody else.
And I was on like 300% profit with some agents. Of course not anymore, but I was.
Not that it matters, but if we are making this a contest for who made the most of their agents, I bought my load of Elite Gear at €1.50 and below, and they are going for €8 and beyond now. That's beyond 500% plus. I'm really not sure whether people want to hear this though. I personally do not like talking about my position specifically, and certainly not about the performance, but again, just a personal preference, I guess. It doesn't really provide your viewer with anything valuable other than a flex of how much money you may have made or not, so it doesn't really actually concern them in any way, other than in the worst case just making them feel bad because they didn't get on the same trade as you before.
And I always will recommend you guys taking your profit. I mean, I can do whatever I want, but if I give you guys an advice, then it should be always reasonable.
If it is always reasonable, why aren't you following it?
The future of the agents. We won't see new agents for the next few months for sure. Simply because of the Armory update. Like I talked in my past video, the Armory update will stay forever. Only the collections will change in the future. And the only thing which will disappear in 3 months, where the time is on the Armory Pass, is the Desert Eagle. It's the only skin which is now and it will disappear. Also, I won't expect a new operation before the major, so I don't see any agents coming in the next 3 months for sure. Like there's no reason why there should come new agents in 3 months.
Let me put this the same way I put it when replying to things on traditional finance forums. Leave the crystal ball in the backpack. It's fairly likely that no new agents will come out before that major, but for all we know, the Armory update is very fresh and we don't know what Valve will make out of it. Don't take the fact that no new agents were released around this time for grand evidence that none will come out anytime soon, because for all we know, Valve can decide to throw them in by different means any day or night as they please. It's just, as said, fairly likely that no new agents will come out within short time spans.
With all being said, I still think it's not a good investment, because we're talking about agents which cost like $30 or $100 upwards. It's not a cheap investment, and the most important thing is, it's too late. The prices are already way too high. The people made already their money. I don't think it will raise that much in the future again. So there are for sure other investments which will perform a lot better in the future. And I don't like how inconsistent the price is. We already saw how big a dump in the end of September looked like.
Well, we talked about price consistency already, but I want to mention something important here, also a claim often made within TradFi. Volatility is your friend. Simply because you're not going to make money off of complete consistency, and if you are scared of volatility, you shouldn't be investing in the first place. What I can get on board with from a subjective perspective here is the claim on the agent prices. They are a highly speculative bet at the present time, and I personally wouldn't be looking sharply at them either. Albeit the case is, of course, multifaceted. Obviously, agents will likely drop substantially when new supply is provided, while until then people may end up continually pouring more into them as supply dries up further. At the same time though, objectively speaking, you will find less uncertain investments to pour money into with ease. Rounding it up, I can't find much value with investment videos merely crystal balling approaches with no educational value and technically no message whatsoever. I think a corner of my brain is just really fed up with how 99% of CS investing videos can be summed up by saying, yes, every unboxing number is crazy good, prices are doing crazy good things, and generally everything in a case is desirable and crazy good. At least that's the gist of what I can take away from most of those videos that I see in this scene. And this isn't even meant as an attack before anyone picks this up the wrong way. Most of those videos are good from an entertainment type of view, and I end up on them more or less frequently myself, but they just don't develop anything beside what is already given. And I'm thinking that if the CS investing scene is generally so flat in terms of complexity, we can at least try to educate people about terms and aspects they might find interesting in order to become more independent in their own investing journey, whether that be on CS or outside. So this is what I am trying to raise awareness for here, and I hope that over time this will transform a larger group of people in the CS realm to try to develop some sort of more objective valuation metrics and watch these videos with this thought in the back of their mind to question what is said. Because if everything looks cool, nothing will be more desired than anything else eventually. So objective measurements actually become increasingly important, even if it is sometimes difficult to do so with this rather simple market. That is particularly true for a market that is likely in billions of total worth already, where overall growth might come in bursts at times, but major downturns might also come against a simultaneous growth in the player base, and with Valve implementing new features and items taking away from the constant growth prospect. While there is a small group of people trying to do this, they are rather in the minority, and granted, there is a reason for this, because if something works, there is an obvious reason to not share that it does, so it's understandable that most such people are hesitant to share what they are doing or thinking. But everything other than striving for objective evaluation is pure arbitrary and subjective speculation, and I think that in that case, at this point, it might turn out to not even be worth your time or money, and you should invest in broad index funds instead, because it is not those people's responsibility to research what you will be doing, it is yours. And I hope to see more awareness for this in the future. This is Kami, thank you very much for tuning in, and I will see you around.